All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with a real quick video. All right, y'all, so we didn't have too many big fights this weekend. I mean, we did have some, good fights this weekend on 1FC. That was a good card. And we had the PAWFC, the All Women's League, which I'm going to talk about more throughout the week. I'm going to do some more videos on that. But I just want to come back and do a quick post-fight thoughts video on BKFC, the two women's fights on BKFC's card. Because, I mean, we had two quick finishes for Jamie Hinshaw versus Robb, and the main event, Christine Ferea versus Taylor Starling. And both of them were some quick, gritty beatdowns. I mean, these girls, they go in here and they put it all on the line. I mean, you got to have grit, you got to have dog, you got to have durability to go in there and put on some shows at BKFC. BKFC, I'm not as big of a fan of it as regular boxing or as much as I am at MMA, but whenever UFC's not on, I'm going to definitely turn this on. I'm going to definitely, check it out. Especially, when you got some of these women like Christine Ferea over here who packs that power and, she puts on a show. I mean, these two had a big buildup, so, I had to check this one out. But going back to Jamie Hinshaw and Robb real quick, these two actually fought maybe like 6-7 years ago, maybe like 5-6 years ago, give or take, in MMA. And I think this was like Robb, one of her only wins in MMA. This was like 5-6 years ago. This was like one of her only wins because if you go and look at her record, Robb, man, she's racked up plenty of losses. I mean, across the board from MMA to boxing to bare knuckle boxing. Shout out to Robb. I mean, she's cool. I've talked to her before on IG, but I just, I'm just really wondering if this is something that she really wants to do, the way she's racked up like almost 11 losses in a row. This time around, it didn't change. She couldn't repeat history. Jamie Hinshaw, she was coming in there for some get back. I mean, the stare down, when I saw the stare down between these two, I could see it in Hinshaw that she was going to go in there and she was going to perform, because she's been out the cage for a little bit too, I think, as well. So she's been looking to get back in there ASAP. And as soon as the bell rung in this fight, I mean, she stormed after Robb. And that's what I'm saying. Like in BKFC, that's how you prove if somebody's really built for this sport, because like I said, you got to have the dog. Like, this is how you know, like, when that bell rings and somebody runs across the ring at you, you can't just shell up in this. I mean, you got to get ready to throw back and throw something to get respect, because Jamie Hinshaw, she went in there and just started throwing bombs. I mean, right hand after right hand in the opening seconds, and Robb was folding. I mean, she folded up quick, and she just kept eating shots. I mean, for like a good minute, she was eating big shots from Jamie Hinshaw. Big right hands from this short fighter. I mean, she was like 3 or 4 inches shorter, but she just kept coming, closing that distance, blasting these big right hands. And, like I said, bone on bone is vicious. I mean, these bare knuckles are so much more brutal whenever you connect. And she's hitting with like these big right hands, and her face is just starting to bleed all over the left side, from the mouth to up to the eyelid. She was just starting to bleed from these big shots. And the referee, he was just letting it play out. I mean, he gave her like a good minute and 30, maybe like 90 seconds of the round, and she wasn't doing much. I mean, she threw maybe like one shot, but Hinshaw was just going after her for like the whole 90 seconds till finally he just stepped in and stopped it. So I was just like, wow, man, like Hinshaw wasn't playing. This was her debut in bare knuckle boxing. But like I said, she came in there and proved that she had the dog and the skills, to close distance, because like I said, she's a shorter fighter here, like 5'1", but she went in there and shot in, put that pressure on, and just got Robb out of there. Again, Robb, like I said, this is like her third loss now in BKFC. So I'm not sure if this is something that she really wants to be doing. I mean, maybe if she goes back to the drawing board and gets with the right team, or if she just really focuses, because nobody racks up 11 losses unless they're really doing something wrong like this in each camp that they're working with. Or whatever it is, whatever the situation is at the time. So I don't know. I mean, when you see somebody rack up that many losses, I mean, that's the best thing you can say is like, hey, maybe they should be doing something else. Maybe just focus on the modeling thing like she's been doing, OnlyFans and so on, right? And, I'm not saying that because I'm disrespecting the warrior in them, but I'm just saying, hey, for their health. Anytime you hear me saying, hey, you need to choose another career path, that's because I'm looking out for their well-being. I don't want to see anybody wind up brain dead or blind, just because they make the wrong choices. That's just me. That's just me. Just when I'm looking at her resume, like I said, her resume across the board, everything combined is 2-16. Okay, so I'm just saying. So, I mean, hey, she wants to come back again. I mean, with 3 losses now, we'll see if BKFC keeps her. But she wants to come back again. Hey, more power to her. But she's gonna have to be ready, man, because like I said, BKFC is a different animal, even more so than regular boxing. But going to the main event, Christine Ferea, man, I just got a reminder today in a live stream or last night in a live stream. Shout out to Marcus Bell. He just reminded me of that fight. I had to go back and check out some clips of Christine Ferea and Helen Peralta. That just reminded me of what a heavy-handed dog she is, man. And the build up to this one, these two, they were at the face-off talking junk. I mean, Taylor Starling was all up in the face of Ferea, and I was just like, because I knew that Christine Ferea, she's not one to test like that. She's not one to test. She's been in MMA. She's thrown down with the best of them. Like I said, she's got heavy hands. She won the belt off of Britain Hart, in that title fight. And, she's been in some wars before. She's been tested. Taylor Starling, I took a look at her resume. She's beat a lot of fighters in BKFC that were making their debut. Robb being one of them, So I didn't really know if she was going to go in there and put it on a fighter like Christine Ferea. And sure enough, first round, Christine Ferea, they met in the middle. Now, I'm not going to lie. Taylor Starling, she did look like she landed a left hook or right hand that knocked Christine Ferea off balance, which, just kind of woke her up. And Christine Ferea, she just unleashed the beast. From there, she didn't step back. She went right into the fire and just started wailing on Taylor Starling. I mean, big right hands as well, just cracking right hands around the guard. Taylor Starling just started folding up, turning to the side like she was facing the ropes, facing the crowd. Big right hands, more big right hands from Christine Ferea, and Taylor Starling goes down. And I mean, she's looking out the ring, I guess at her corner, and looked like she was mouthing the words, "I can't." Like she was starting to cry already. She said, "I can't." But the referee, he read that wrong, and he just took a step back, let her go on. And her hands were still kind of down. Looked like she put her hands up, and Christine goes after her, lands a couple more big shots, right on the forehead, another couple big shots, and finally he steps in. 40 seconds, only 47 seconds. All of this was in the matter of 47 seconds. So whenever that first time she was facing the crowd, I was wondering why the referee didn't stop it there, because it looked like she started crying. It looked like she was saying something. Like somebody told me at the post-fight, she said, "I can't see." And it seems like if somebody was saying that and their hands are down, you might just want to go ahead and stop the fight there. But he gave her a few more seconds, and that's all it could have taken to really blind somebody or really get them hurt. I'm just saying, like, he probably could have got her hurt if he didn't just go ahead and stop it from there. But he let her go a few more seconds, and, she went on and quit. Christine Ferea just went in there and showed what type of dog she is, and that's what she does. She defended her belt, showed you what she is. But like I said, man, some people were, talking trash about Taylor Starling, saying that she shouldn't have been talking. But, hey, that's a part of the game. That's how you get eyes on you. You got to show some mic skills. But everybody knows once you show the mic skills, after the mic skills, you got to get into the ring and you got to show the real skills, right? So, yeah, Christine Ferea from here, man, I don't know. I'd like to see her in a rematch with Britain Hart, maybe. Because, I think Britain Hart, like, out of the non-title holder, out of the contenders, out of the fighters like Beck and Britain, I think Britain Hart is probably one of the fighters that would have a good chance to win that belt. Or Helen Peralta. I'd like to see that rematch again, man. I'd like to see that rematch. I'd like to see them two fight again, man. That would be a good fight between her and Christine Ferea. That would be a good match. But yeah, man, overall, the BKFC card, it was pretty good, pretty solid at one point. Also had Dodson in there, make his debut. Very explosive in his win, just putting on an action-packed fight, and that's what it's about. Like I said, I'm going to have to come back this week and do another video on BKFC, because I want to kind of discuss some of the WMMA fighters that might need to go that route as well. Because I think, BKFC is not a longevity sport, but if somebody wants to go in there and, put hands on a fighter, if that's all their skill really is, and get some quick paychecks, I think there is some WMMA fighters that could get some pretty good money out of it, and I'm not talking like the Paige Van Zants and those type of fighters, because she's 0-2, almost 0-3, I think. And she might be looking to be on her way out, right? But I'm talking about the ones that can actually just do it, not off of the looks, but off of the skills, and, maybe have somewhat of a healthy career. I say somewhat because, like I said, BKFC is not one. It's not a sport you want to stay in there too long. It's definitely not one. But yeah, I'll be back later on to do a video on that, guys. But let me know if y'all saw the card. There were just some real quick finishes that I just want to, go back in and talk about these fighters, like I said, and bare knuckle boxing as a whole. Very fun sport, to watch aside from MMA, especially when there's no UFC on. Combo Breaker 99. Let me know y'all thoughts. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.